All right, hello everybody. Today we are going to be reviewing a movie that I was fortunate enough to go see on the big screen the same night just before Avatar, actually, because I was like, what movie do I want to go see? And then I ended up going to see Puss in Boots on the Sunday night over the New Year holidays. So yeah, yeah, this movie was just it was just a fun movie. With just Santa being an absolute badass. And I was like, how are they going to mix in the fact that he just knows how to battle so well? And it turns out that he was actually a raider or Viking in the past because when he takes off his I guess suit in part of the movie, he has all these tribal tattoos, and I'm like, oh wow, Santa has an actual past in this movie. So it was kind of cool to see him in this kind of light, I guess. So he played Santa, but what was his other name? We're gonna look that up because it's important to the film. Santa's other name in Violent Night, because we gotta know. Violent Night, and if I could spell, it'll tell us. Oh, come on. What was his other name? Yeah, that's cool. I don't care about who he was. Hmm. Oh God, I just know that his name. Nicamund the Red. Okay, that was right. All right, that makes sense. Okay, so he was Nicamund the Red. He was a raider or Viking raider. Oh my God, can I talk today too? This is what happens when you film a lot of reviews in one day. You get tongue tied after a little while, but that's okay. Um, I still am going to review this movie. And then I might take a little bit of a break because I think I've reviewed about 4 different movies now. So, uh, yeah, just to kind of keep my head out of the scramble after this one. So this is about a family who's obviously very wealthy, and um, on Christmas, all these people come and decide to rob them. So we have David Harbour as Santa, John Leguizamo as Scrooge, Beverly D'Angelo as Gertrude, Alex Saul as Jason, Alexis Louder as Linda. Oh yeah, I guess that was the sister, right? Ida Patterson as Elva, Cam Gigad Gigan oh my God, Gigandet Gigandet as Morgan Steele. Leah Brady was Trudy, who was the daughter of Jason and Linda. We have Andre Erickson as Gingerbread Man, or just Gingerbread, I guess. Brendan Fletcher Krampus. Michael Dopewood as Commander Thorpe. Alexander Elliott as Bert. Mitra Suri as Candy Cane. Kane Aiden as Frosty. Fong Giang as Tinsel. Finn McCager Higgins as Jingle. And Raleigh Clements Willis as Peppermint. Stephanie Sy as Sugar Plum. And who was the security guard out front? I think that was basically it, other than the security guard out front of the house. So it seems like they always have this big, huge kind of their mother has this big, huge Christmas party each year, or event, I guess. and they're all hoping to kind of take the spot, like the top spot, to work with her, I suppose. And then all of a sudden, all these guys come in trying to steal the money from her because they know that she has a ton of it stored away from a deal she made, and she ended up just taking all the money for herself. So now all these guys are coming in to take the money, and it seems like her death team, or death squad as she calls it, is going to come in and save the day. Turns out they had already made a deal with the guys that were coming to rob the place, so they're just as bad as the other guys. And Santa ends up getting trapped at this house because his reindeer end up leaving when the bad guys show up and all of the shooting starts. So he has to find a way out, and at least they didn't make him so to the point where he couldn't be hurt that it was like he was like invincible or any type of deal. And it wasn't, in all honesty, it was a good story about belief. Whatever your belief system is, as long as you believe in something, even if it's just yourself, like it's important to have, I guess, some sort of belief in something, right? Um, Now I know, obviously, Santa is like a fictional character, right? Um, not not a real entity, but I guess you could consider him more of like a spirit in a sense, I suppose, if if you think about it in that way. I guess he would kind of be considered in that way. But in this movie, he was human form, and he obviously had his like Christmas magic where he pulls the presents out of the bag, and he's going from house to house getting milk and cookies, and he drinks because he's a Viking. So it was kind of funny to see him at the beginning of the film knowing everybody's name when he's just sitting at a random bar, and the lady from the bar goes out and sees the reindeer flying and Santa, and he's just every house he stops at, he sees what alcohol they have. And I think that was the issue with this one, was that he stopped a little too long to take a sip of some really old bourbon, and it ends up that he gets stuck at this house. Now he does try to leave, but when he sees that there's a kid inside being held hostage, he knows that he has to save the kid and take everybody off of his naughty list. Um, so uh, the parents, and Linda and Jason, end up giving their daughter, Trudy, a walkie-talkie, and they say that she can talk to Santa through this, and he'll hear her, no matter what. Now, at one point, Jason freaks out so bad about what's going on that he tells her Santa isn't real. And of course, at this point, she already knows that he's real because she's actually been talking to somebody over the radio who claims to be Santa. Now, throughout the movie, she, I guess, got to watch Home Alone, so she kind of knows how to set up the traps a little bit. Now, in this movie, the traps were obviously clearly more violent. And I mean, they worked. So at least we got a little taste of that, like, nostalgic Home Alone in the movie, which I think was nice because it just added to the masterpiece that this film was. And it's just a fun film to go and watch. And him actually tapping into his like old Viking spirit and just absolutely annihilating everybody. Like the scenes were absolutely like Violent Night is a proper name for this film because these scenes were gory, violent, brutal, just everything that you would want out of an action movie. And it was just like he was just a one-man army throughout, even though he got hurt extremely in certain points. Um, like he got beat up in this film quite a bit because it's not like he was fighting untrained people, right? And obviously he's been around for a long time, so he probably can't move the same he did when he was younger. And I guess he kind of feels a little bit bad for himself because he used to be feared, and now he's become this Santa guy, I guess, when he was kind of, I guess, technically given like a second chance maybe at a better life as opposed to, being a Viking raider. Um, yeah, because he used to be feared all across the lands, and he still doesn't really understand how the whole like magic thing works, but it works out to his advantage in certain points of the film. I will give you that. Um, because he's able to defeat the last guy by literally using the magic from his nose that drags him out the fireplace to like just drag the other guy with him and kill him by like basically decapitating all of his limbs. It was just such a gruesome scene. Um, but anyhow, yeah, he ends up saving the child. The money isn't there because it turns out that Jason was trying to steal it from his mom this entire time anyway, and he leaves her a note. And when they're opening their one gift or whatever, that was the gift that she chose from him. And he says, no, no, you can leave the note. And she reads the note, and she just says, we'll keep this between the two of us. And she ends up actually killing her death squad leader at the end of the film, the mother. So that was pretty badass that she was able to pull that off. And yeah, this just had a lot of action in it, and a lot of comical action as well, especially when Linda and Jason were trying to fight off people to save their daughter, and they almost die in the process themselves. It was just super funny in certain parts of this film. So it was comical action, and I mean, honestly, this isn't like a far-fetched thing to have happen where one person could be trained well enough to save a family. So, I mean, obviously, with the whole Santa thing, yeah, somebody dressed as Santa probably shouldn't go in and fight a bunch of criminals off, but at least this was just a fun film to go and watch and, yeah, get some laughs. And if you're into action movies, I would say this is one you have to go and see because it was a very, very brutal film. And it kind of made me think a little bit about wanting David Harbour to come back really badly as Hellboy for another film, because I really did enjoy that film as well. I mean, I think it would be cool to see him as Hellboy one more time. Now, I know Ron Perlman's talking about coming back as Hellboy again one more time, too, so we'll see if that does end up happening. I'm not sure, but it would be kind of cool to maybe see the two of them in a film together. Kind of the two worlds collide, maybe. But anyway, for this film, I gave it a 10 out of 10. I felt like it deserved it. It just brought me laughs. Just the scenes made you go, oh, it was just an action-packed movie. So yeah, I will see you guys, oh God, in the next review. Bye-bye for now.